Good morning, everybody, and once again, welcome back in today's class. Today, we're in the day number 18 of our class, and for the next 2 days, what we are going to be discuss is completely different what we did in the last 17 days. Okay, so I said that there is a way that we can do the assessment, right? Yesterday, we saw that with the out of the box way, we're able to do the risk assessment. But now, as we introduce the new plugin in our training that is called the advanced risk management or advanced risk, that enhance a lot of things in the service now. The reason why we need to enhance or the advanced risk, because company says they want to be check, they want to be evaluate the risk, they want to be do the risk assessment with a multiple formats, with multiple entities, multiple type of risk. Like we see that we have a inherent risk, residual risk, target risk, all things are there. So ServiceNow introduced a concept called the advanced risk. So what plugin is required for this one, even though we already done? But we show and we'll discuss this part. So you can go here and just mention advanced risk. We're talking about this module. So if you open this, this plugin, if you open this plugin and you can go and see that these are the features given by the advanced risk. Multiple type of risk assessment, perform comprehensive risk and control assessment, including inheritance assessment, connect risk silos and make risk assessment near the real time, different level of risk maturity, and much more. Like this is the one which introduced the concept of risk appetite, which we discussed yesterday or might be on the Friday. Okay, risk identification, risk event. So multiple things, this particular concept has been introduced, and one of the concept called risk assessment. We saw yesterday that assessment in the classical way, there is a process. But in this, what need to be assessed and how need to be assessed is matter. So few things which you need to understand, that advanced risk assessment is known as ARA. You remember that we have a role called ARA. Here you go. Advanced risk assessment. Creator, admin, approver, different role, totally different role for this one. In this, we will cover identification, analyze, and evaluation of a risk. If you enable this, then you cannot do anything on the classical way. So we can enable this thing via system property. What system property is this? This one under risk. This one. Sorry, under advanced risk. Migrate to advanced risk assessment. If I tick this box and I want that all my assessment of the risk will be advanced now. Because in the classic, we did nothing much. Something is given, we just use it and then done. But here, a lot of things matter. So it can be done via plugin. It works on the concept called the RAM, risk assessment methodology. What does methodology mean? Like someone says agile is a methodology. Means it provide a way which you can use in your project to run your agile system. Might be it little different for Mahesh, might be little different for me, but we can use it. So this concept is called the RAM, risk assessment methodology. It is key here. And in the RAM, we mainly evaluate or we assess inherent risk, mitigating control, and residual risk. So you can see here, identify, analyze, evaluate, respond, and monitor. The overall picture of this particular, what we're doing, we're just going to do setup that how to create the RAM. What are important things in the RAM we have to be make sure that we take care. ठीक. It will start from methodology, type, factor, and factor contribution. Something new. We will discuss this. Sorry. We'll see that what is assessment type, what is factor, and what is factor contribution. ठीक है? Clear है यहाँ तक? Because fundamental is must here. Everybody clear? Okay, चलो चलते हैं. So overall, it will look like this way. Risk assessment, identification, analyze, evaluate, and treatment. But before that, we have to be set up a context that for which particular stuff we are going to be do the risk assessment. Are we doing to do the risk assessment for an object or for the risk? ठीक. So risk type, remember, inherent, residual risk are key here. Remember the definition of that because that is going to be that we're going to be used here. Actually, it is going to be used here. Now, this is what we discussed. Advanced risk management is done. This one. What is methodology? ServiceNow says that RAM is a unique risk template which will create an instance of the assessment. If you use or if you create a template by which you can create the assessment record, that is called a RAM. It is basic. And by the RAM, you can say what is being assessed and how it is being assessed. It's quantitative, qualitative, what result should be there. Everything will become in this particular domain. So overall process for the risk assessment methodology setup. देखो सिर्फ methodology setup करने का process है. I'm not saying it's overall process. We have to define the context. आ गया? Then assessment type, preferences, and roll up. So what I will do now, I'll take you on this directly and search here for the risk assessment, advanced risk methodology. ServiceNow has given us a lot of previous methodology. Might be tomorrow someone come and say, hey, ITIL is there, Prince2 is there, Agile is there. Let me create a new methodology which a combination of all three. So if you want, you can create your own methodology. Click on new. This is key here. I'm saying again saying. NG together. Now, if I go to this slide, this one. So we are on this one. We are setting up the context that on which parameter you want to do the assessment, on the risk or on the object. Risk, we know that risk statement, risk framework, entities, and we got the risk. On that level, you want to be do. So what it is called? Individual risk must be identified and assessed in the context of the entity. किसी एक particular entity पे you are doing that risk assessment. And this is called the registered risk. कि हाँ इस पे तो करना ही करना है. And second is object based. It work only on the table. Like incident के ऊपर मुझे risk assessment करनी, change पे table पे I'm not saying about the processes, I'm saying about the record level. Because every company has a different need of the assessment. So I can pick up the assess on the risk or object. If I click on the object, you can say I got this one. If I double click on this, it will open the list of the tables. देखो सब tables हैं ये. What we're going to do, we'll do the assessment of the risk. ये context हो रहा है. On which entity class? It is not saying that on this entity. It's saying boss मुझे class बताओ आप. Class के नीचे type के नीचे entity. I said type should be LNG worker, employee, department. That is, this risk methodology will be applicable for these three type of classes. If tomorrow a new entity will get created in any of these three classes, this methodology will attach automatically. Clear everybody till this point? Vinod, Mohammed, Manish, Hemant, Hassan, Mahesh, Sai, Anu, Sonam. Clear?
Yes, Anuj.
Good. Now, the what is the next part in the methodology? If you remember that what it says in the beginning, what is being assessed and how? क्या करना है? रिस्क असेस करना है. लेकिन रिस्क में what you want to be assessed? Do you want to be assessed in head risk? And this is called the workflows. Means, so I'm adding it. Let's say Anu and his family, let's say husband and his son. Three people went for a dinner. Okay. Anu says that I will order some Chinese. ठीक है. Husband says, no, I will order something South Indian only. Light, easy to digest. And son says, I'll take something Indian only. Now, you guys invited the waiter. And Anuj give his own first order. One Hakka noodles with little spicy, little lemon on that, and little fried as well. Anu is setting up this thing. That was what you are going to be make it. Could you please add lemon, fried, and cheese? It means when you're saying that this methodology will be used for the risk assessment, for the risk type of assessment, then I want to be assessed in head risk. मतलब ये that when the questionnaire will be generated, because it says what to be assessed. I want to be assessed my in head risk. I want to be assessed my residual risk. And you have to define that in the methodology level. Now, one thing is clear that a single entity can have multiple RAMs. Clear? Single entity can have multiple RAMs. Okay, what to be assessed? How to make a cup of tea? I'm assessing Anu that how she's making a cup of tea. She make a good cup of tea because it is not in hurry. She has a good time at her own place. But if I tomorrow change her place and then say, can you make a cup of tea? Answer is yes, but when it be assessed, it's bad. Because number one, she's not in her own house. Second, it is like a pressure for her. So in the methodology, we decide if you say in head risk, the risk which is coming without mitigation action. And I want to be see the overall impact of this risk. I add this workflow. I add this workflow. ठीक. Same goes for the control effectiveness. I want to be see that if I implement some control for this risk, how the user or the respondent is responding. Control can be for the preventive purpose, which is assigned, which is created, defined to prevent the errors. It can be the detective way or detective type, which is intended to discover the existing errors, inaccuracy, detect karna. How you can make errors. And finally, corrective. काम हो गया उसको ठीक करना. ठीक. Don't consider that these are just definitions. No. This is what we're going to be use it. So then residual risk, which is left over after implementing the control. मुझे उसको evaluate करना, मुझे उसको assess करना. I want to assess that. And finally, target risk. I want a user to be assess my risk on this parameter as well. That what is my capacity, what is my final target for the risk. So if you see corresponding assessment based on the assessment type, ये assessment types है हमारे. Questionnaire will be generated. Yesterday we saw the risk assessment questionnaire, right? Classical risk assessment question. But in the advance, on the basis of the risk manager admin who is creating this methodology, can see, can update. So I want to go for everything. ठीक है. Now let's save it. बन गया methodology? नहीं, अभी नहीं बना. Still pending. Now you can see this thing. What is this called? So दो चीजें हो गई हमारा. Context and workflow has been done. ठीक. Now few configurations. So as well as selecting the applicable assessment type, RAM, enabling the risk response workflow. Based on this selection, when this methodology will run on an entity, the previous in the background, this workflow will get attached automatically. Now, ठीक है, इसमें देखते हैं. Now it has few things. It says roll-up configuration. On which basis you want to be assess your risk. Remember yesterday we have ALE based annual loss of expectancies. Do you want to take it as an average, sum, max or minimum? I said take an average. Score, overall scoring. Average, maximum or minimum? I said average. Did you notice that see, these four types has been come. 1, 2, 3 and 4. How it come? Because we have this tick box. We'll come on this particular part. Second, risk response configuration. That okay, risk assessment is done now. It is a response time. Enable risk response task workflow. Do you want to get the task? Sorry, not task. I'm saying that this option is allow user to create, delete any risk response within the assessment. Assessment means the format yesterday open survey questionnaire. Then allow single response. Yesterday, if you notice that in a single assignment, we are able to change it. Risk response, respond. First we did accept. Then after 2 minutes, we said, no, not accept. Let's transfer it. So it says, do you want to be allow single response? I said yes. Once response selected, you can proceed further. So you cannot go back or change it. And allowing issue link with the risk assessment. If there's an issue identified in the risk, do you want to be allow it, link it with the assessment, sorry. These are like easy to do, plus minus things hai. Isme nothing must be worried, but it is important that how you want to be track your risk, how to be assess your risk, and do you want to give the flexibility to the user to do these kind of changes. Risk response is required when it is mandatory. Always on condition undefined script. You can put the conditions or you can say nahi, always. Clear everybody यहाँ तक? Pritam, Kiran, Hemant, Hassan, Mohammed, Mahesh.
Yeah,
Abhi
clear.
okay. Till this time, we do not say that we're using this methodology. Till this time, we're just building the methodology. Just building it. अभी तो use किया ही नहीं हमने. We did not go for the assessment. Now, business rule and validation. Do you want that when the risk assessment is done, is final command is mandatory? Yes. Or only when appetite has been breached or when the tolerance has been breached? I said no, always. Automatically create issue. On breach of appetite or breach of this thing? I said breach of appetite. Then reference information. In the related tabs, do you want to show the risk events, risk indicators, open issues, previous assessment? I said yes. Easy, drag and drop, nothing much. And other configuration. How many days you want to be advanced? I said it should be 15 days. Override days, overdue days, 5. If risk is identified, see risk identification. If you see this slide again, with ARA, identification also done. Same thing. If risk identified, then what way you want to be using? Do you want to be go for the ad hoc from library or both? I said both. Do you want to copy the previous responses? I said no. Users always fill the fresh responses. Always, sorry, allow override in the results? No, I don't want to be override the previous one. ठीक, now save it. After saving it, let's come back here. Now, can I publish it? It says no. Why? It says that boss, you told the system that please create the assessment for these risks, but your assessments are in the draft state. Activate this. So click on this one. Now there's a concept called the factors. क्या होते हैं factors? This one. Factors are nothing but the quotient which you see is a factor. That is called a factor. The quotient which you see in the assessment is called a factor. Now factor is very important. Factor जैसे क्या है? Percentage of expected loss revenue this year. What is your name? What is your age? What is your experience in service now? These are the factors which has been responded by a user, which we use to take a decision. It is a valid risk or not. Now, factor is a for 4 types: manual, group, automated और automated scripting. इसको थोड़ा सा आता है यहाँ पहले यहाँ where the factor has been designed. देखो ये एडवांस assessment, group factor, manual factor, ये which you are able to see. Let me show you this one. Manual factor. देखो यहाँ पर factors की बात हो रही है. Before that, it says how you want to be do the assessment of the risk, which is count as a inherit. Responses, factor responses कि जो questions यहाँ होंगे उसके बेस पे करना I said yes. What type of assessment you want to be do? Qualitative or quantitative? Money matters or high BW matters? Or both? You can say both as well, or you can say one as well. I said I want to go for the qualitative. This is disabled. The reason being because as of now for the factor we need at least 2 factors to enable this. तभी तो मैट्रिक्स बनेगा ना. 2x2 का मैट्रिक्स कैसे बनता है? एटलीस्ट 2 तो हो इंसिडेंट और सॉरी प्रायोरिटी और इम्पैक्ट होगा तभी वो मैट्रिक्स बनाएगा. Only matrix cannot, sorry, only priority cannot do anything. Clear? So now, earlier we did the methodology type. Now we're doing the assessment type. It says, okay, if you're doing the qualitative, what the score logic you want to put it? Formula uses scoring the either factors with the qualitative or the contribution with the. I said I will take average as a score. 10 यूजर ने असेसमेंट किया, उनके बेसिस पे उसका एवरेज लेंगे हम. Clear everybody till this point? Because this is what you need to be asked to the customer, that was what and how you want to be evaluated. So customer says, I want to be take the average. ठीक है. Save it. And now we have to be add the factor in this. Anu go to restaurant. Anu says we will go for the dinner. That is your methodology. In the dinner, I will take Chinese. That is your assessment type. In that Chinese, I want little spicy, little cheesy, a little fried. This come under the factors. Click edit. अरे एक भी नहीं है क्वालिटेटिव में. I say some. Oops. Why it's not showing anything here? Okay. So what we'll do now, we'll create a new factor here, which we see. Manual factor means the factor which required user input, which is not automated method. So I click a new here. LNG. What type you want? I want qualitative one. Okay. Do you want on the basis of the user responses? Choice, number, text, or currency or percent? I say choices. Control type. You want to show the radio button or drop down? I said drop down. Or I said radio button. Vertical or horizontal? I said vertical. Sorry, horizontal. Now the question comes, इनके पीछे questions क्या हैं? That is a separate part. Factors are nothing but factors are questions. So that we define later on. The overall will be 100%. If I add 5 questions in that, every question cannot be 20%. It can be 20, 30, 10, 5, like this. And transform quantitative score. Now let's say Vinod, Mahesh and Kiran are the CI levels users. They are more interested that overall risk is high, medium or low. But हम तो quantitative कर रहे हैं. Sorry, हम तो qualitative कर रहे हैं. Sorry. If I convert this quantitative, तो क्वांटिटेटिव में तो ट्रांसफर होते हैं क्योंकि नंबर्स तो सबको समझ में आते हैं, लेकिन अगर क्वालिटेटिव है उसको ट्रांसफॉर्म करना हो, we can do it. Medium means, now if you remember that when we were kid, we have our exams and we got the numbers like out of 100, 34, 58, 69, 79, 85. We got these numbers. But now the students got the grading. Now let's say grade A is between 71 to 79. If Mahesh is on the 71, he still have a A grade. And I am on the 79. I still have a A grade. But conversion is possible because it's a 71, so it is a grade A. And if it is the A, then what should be the transform score? If it is the A, I have to tell the system that was if it is a A, it means the value is somewhere between 71 to 79. And now I'll say LNG together. What you want to be tell to the user to be do? I said rate like low, high. You can put the guidance and say. What do you say? You say choices. करो choice add फिर. Display value low. Score 1. So what we're doing now? We're doing this thing. This thing. Choice. This thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That low means 1. Submit. New. Medium is 3. So you can define your choices, but as we're doing the qualitative, low, medium, high will not be able to understand completely. I have to define the transform criteria that if display text 10K, limit range between 1 to 3, lower limit range अगर 3 से नीचे है तो स्कोर क्या होगा? This one. Let me show you something here. This one. Lower limit 0 है अगर score 1 display text as a low. अगर हाँ 0 है तो लो, 3 है तो मीडियम, 5 है तो हाई. So you can put these things easily, like display and you can say there is nothing called the display text. Okay, will do. This is called a currency because in the qualitative this is important. The currency is important, that how I can convert that, and it will only and only should when you click the transform one. Now let's say I have these two choices and I click on the publish. Now go back here. You can see. Did you understand one thing? If two customers order the same noodles, the chef will only apply the flavors what they want. He will not bring or he will not make the noodles separately for two persons. Noodles तो यही है. Inherit is my noodle. Now Anu needs little spicy, little fried, but Mahesh need basics with the vegetables. So if Mahesh want to do the qualitative one, he need to be create his own factors like this. The bottom line I want to be saying, every risk is different for every organization and every entity. Risk on car is different than the risk on bike. Agree करते हो? And again, risk on car is different for the user who is already having a good experience in the car driving, let's say 20 years. क्लियर बात यहाँ तक? विनोद, मोहम्मद, मनीष, किरण, रितम, हसन, हेमंत, अनु, साईं. Say yes or no, at least I should know.
Yes, yes. Clear.
Yes.
Okay. Now we will link this to our assessment. कि बॉस जब मैं रन करूं तब ऐसे काम करना चाहिए. Say. Now qualitative rating criteria. So I can add multiple factors. And what is my qualitative rating? All factors, when we run the all factors, the results will come. So what we have done for the manual factor is something similar way to do the here as well. Lower rating 0, rating low, overhead score. See, ensure the risk rating colors are defined in the charts, because this will help you to build your heat maps and the color coding of the risk as well. Overhead and score, and the score is customary to use overhead the computed score. कि 0 है उसको 1 से replace कर दे. And show this as a yellow color style. Submit. It is little complicated to be defined. And now I can publish it. And now if you go back here to the methodology, you can see. See, it is published. Same thing we do for the control assessment. Because it is a control assessment. So do you want to do this control environment assess? So we're talking about this thing. This one. Control environment and the नहीं ये नहीं, इसमें ये रहा. This one. You want to be calculate the control effectiveness based on the control environment assessment or individual assessment of control, kind of a group or individually. I said as a individual. Then in how you identify the control, library or ad hoc. Factors for overall effectiveness. What is the matter that for you for the overall effectiveness? अरे यार इसमें कुछ स्कोर नहीं है, रुको इसको हम कंट्रोल असेसमेंट से ही चलते हैं फिर. Do you want to make it as a sum, minimum, maximum, average product? I said take it as sum. And same thing applied here. If I click, let me save this first. Edit. नहीं है कुछ भी. It means I have to be created my new one. Go back here. Favorite. Now I'll create a automated factor. If we can do automated means by running or the data can be collected by the methodology or assessment type from the previous tables only by running some jobs or by some integrations. So we can do this particular part. Otherwise, we can come here manual factors and let me change few factors or few assessment to the our assessment. Qualitative control assessment. देखो है ना control assessment. Sorry, this is a risk methodology. देखो अगर मैं if I show you the out of the box one, let's say this one. Control effectiveness assessment. Display one choices. This one, and they put these three values. and it is going the qualitative, and they don't go to the transformation because it is already mapped to a methodology. So we cannot change anything here. So if I click here, because it's already fixed, so we cannot make a change. We have to be created our own only. So by this manner, you can create your own factors as well. So what I will do now, let me go back here. And let remove everything else. See. ठीक. अभी यहाँ पे ऑप्शन क्या है, व्यू सिमुलेटेड असेसमेंट कि हाउ इट विल बी विजिबल टू द यूजर. अभी कुछ नहीं, विल सी दिस पार्ट लिटिल लेटर टुमारो, बट ऑप्शन आई कैन शो यू हियर. नाउ I can publish it. My methodology is getting published now. This set as a risk assessment primary for the applicable entities, classes, navigate to the entity class under the related links. So if you open this class, you can see methodology has been changed. Earlier, what was appearing yesterday? It was appearing the risk assessment, that is classical one. But here you can do your own created methodology as well. So now if I go back here in the workspace, here, I'll go here. Library framework, this, and now I open my statement, this, go to detail. देखो यहाँ पे appetite भी हमें सेट नहीं किया अभी. That will discuss tomorrow, that how to set up the appetite. ठीक, ये all the things we'll discuss tomorrow. ठीक है, इसमें तो कहीं नहीं है रिस्क में. ठीक है, एंटिटीज, ये तो हो गया था, इसको छोड़ो. चलो ठीक है, यहाँ आते हैं एसेस. होंगे इसमें हमारा असेसमेंट. अरे, not here in the days yesterday we saw, right? Ownership, appetite, quantitative risk appetite status. अरे field कहाँ गई हमारी? Let me go and pick up any other one. I should be able to change it now. Risk statement, entity, functional domain, relevance नहीं है, ownership भी नहीं चाहिए, appetites. See, because we have a advanced risk enable now, so this appetite also coming. Quantitative risk status. अरे अच्छा, यहाँ दिखाई, it will not show here I guess because it is taken directly from the primary one. यहाँ से. So all the LNG workers will have this as a primary assessment methodology. By default, it's sitting up. So now if I click on the assess here, assessor type, this is coming, this window is coming. Why? Because now we have the advanced risk assessment. Yesterday it was not there. So I can say same as the risk owner. No, same as the entity owner. Who will going to be assess? Approver type. Who will approve it? Assessor manager. Overdue in the 2 days. Click. Assessment record has been generated. To whom the assessment goes? Entity David Liu. Now if I impersonate, and now if you go here in his workspace, not issue, in the task, see, risk assessment, classical chala gaya. Yesterday we were able to see the classical risk assessment, and today, and this is what the fact that as soon as you enable that property, migrate to the risk, advanced risk, classical will be totally overwritten. And now if you click on this, if you want to, if David say no, it's not me, someone else can do, can reassign or started. अरे हो जा भाई. Okay, now it's loaded. आगे हमारे factors. Now are you able to link the dots? That what this is what we build, right, in the factors. If I show you here, ये थे ना हमारे दो फैक्टर LNG, इसमें दो थे, लो एंड मीडियम, लो एंड हाई. सी, it is there now. Now what I'm doing, I'm checking my risk methodology, because we did not build a full-fledged. Yes, tomorrow what we'll do, I'll show you the out of the box demo. Or if you want to be see, you can go back here. Favorite, factors, manual, and open, let's say, likelihood. This one under the any way you open operational assessment. So you will find all these things like this. Choices, unlikely, like this. So tomorrow we'll pick up a demo so that we can see that how it will look like. But now, if I just to be recap everything what we have done till now, we created the methodology. Under that we have a assessment type. Sorry, under that we have a context, that it is a risk or object based. Then we ask system to create a workflow for inherit. So if you tick this box, if you tick this box, sorry, if you tick these 5 boxes, you will see the 5 assessment type here, and you will see the 5 sections are here as well. And then you can do it. And then we create the values, the factors. Now, only in this one more topic left, group factoring, that we'll discuss tomorrow. Doubt, question, clarification, guys.
Yeah, Atul, I have a question. Like in that risk assessment methodology, there is a tab like business rule and validation. In that part, like it is triggering the business rule related to that assessment methodology, or we have to create it. Not
No,
clear
no,
on
sorry,
that.
sorry. Can you repeat your question once again?
Like in the risk assessment methodology, you are showing there is a tab, like related list that business rule and validation, right?
Wait, okay, let me come back here. So I'm showing this thing, right?
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, correct. So this is like it will just triggering those business rule related
Yes,
those
yes,
or
yes, yes, yes. So service now say why you want to configure it. I can give you just yes or no option here, and then you can in the background I will do everything, every work for you. So no need to be define anything new here. You can just say yes, no, and in the background the logic will run automatically.
okay.
Okay. So now for your homework, do one thing. At least try to create a one methodology. Create your own because now you know almost 90% in the risk and compliance. How to create entity class, entity type, entities. Create that. Create a risk. Sorry, create a methodology of risk and then come back here. I thought it will be more tough, but it is easy to be explained now. But this is a core because none of the customer is now. So if I ask you in your company, if you're using the change management, how you're calculating your risk? Atul, we have a risk plugin activated. We have set of questions and we ask. It means you're not using the risk conditions now. The same example or the same thing fit here as well. That you customer says, I don't want to go for the classical one because classic map, you don't have a flexibility to change anything. Now in this, you have flexibility to change multiple things. You can create your own likelihoods, you can create your own impact, again, own factors, anything you can do it. ठीक है जी? Clear? Any last doubt, question, clarification? Anybody?
Yeah, Atul.
Good. Thanks. Let me stop the recording and take attendance now.